This is the exterior foundation inspection. The crawl space is down here. We're at the rear elevation. This is the grade wall, beam wall, and we have the rest of the house is built up on top of it. There's no weep holes visible on the rear elevation. Weep holes are necessary to help the wall breathe. We're looking at the walls and foundation exterior. What we're looking for is possible water penetration into the building. We've got examples of possible water penetration here. You can see that the condition of the caulking is poor. It continues right up to the top there, poor caulking. And then there's poor caulking this side all the way around here. So this is not uncommon to find the caulking has not been maintained. People just don't think about it. Here the caulking is missing completely. There's a few holes in the walls, as you can see here. There's a new addition here. The wall has been rebuilt, I'd say. There's a hole in the mortar up there that needs to be filled. Is that a hole or is that a... Yeah, it's a hole. Moving to the right elevation. We've got poor caulking on the windows still. At the right elevation, holes in the mortar, a small bit of a differential cracking here, more holes in the mortar. There's a ventilation space, more differential cracking here. Now the gutters, good to have gutters, but they're actually draining too close to the foundation. This could actually get the floor space under the house wet. You see here it's coming out very close here. Again here, they need to be extended, like this one is here. See how that's extended out? These two need to be extended too. Here we've got a bit of differential cracking running down the wall here, and the mortar has fallen out. We have a steel lintel here and no weep holes. There's the fireplace, or fire, or chimney. You can see here we have a differential crack coming down. It's opened up quite wide here, it's been filled. So not unusual, these buildings do move and you do see this quite commonly, cracks in this sort of area. Steel lintel without weep holes, and we have further rot at the window frames here. And we've got wet rot here and here, and poorly caulking here. Water's definitely getting in here. So we're at the front right elevation. We're still looking at walls and foundation. So at the front elevation here you can see there's been settlement either side of that window. So the building has moved. I'd be surprised if it didn't move, frankly. Looking at the porch. Now you can see there's some movement in the porch either side. Up here, we've got heavy rain at the moment, by the way. Up here you can see the cracks running down to the arch. Got another crack running up from the arch, two of them. Very typical. What is actually happening, one side of the arch is settling differentially to the others. I'd say it's settling this side, which is consistent with what's going on here. So this side of the building is settling, and then we've got that cracks appearing as this part sinks and this part of the arch stays in place. Down the side of the archway, see what we can see up here. Yeah, see the cracks there. It's moving away. We've got another crack there. It's differential settlement, and then we've got holes up here which are going to allow vermin to get access into the attic system, so they need to be filled. Now here, the building settlement is sufficient to cause one of the beams to move out of alignment. We can see up here, we're looking at the steel lintel that's underneath the arch. Come round here. And here you can see the cracks. And then we've got another pillar here, and that's staying in place while this part of the house sinks. And then we've got the differential settlement over there. Now I've just measured the distance. We're measuring the distance here from the ground. I use a laser distance measure here up to here. The laser was hitting in this area here. And we've got a measurement of 7'5". This is the other side of the house. You can see clearly how the house is sinking. And so we're going to take a measurement here and see how much it's sunk. Oh, I'm getting wet. "7'4", so it's gone down by an inch. Quite a lot, really. So we have this side sinking. This side here sinking by an inch compared with here, and you can see the lintels a bit lifted up. As it's levered up, it's moving up. So this part of the house, the front elevation, is sinking. Let's go out and have a closer look at what it looks like, so we've got a better description of what we're finding. Now come out here. We're going to look at the house from the front yard, the path. You can see the house here. What is actually happening is this area of the house, this area here, including the right elevation and the front elevation here, is sinking. Moving into the left elevation now. And we can see more differential settlement cracks. This lintel here is showing movement. We've got cracks in the brick here, more cracks here. More lateral cracks running here. And then we've got evidence of a repair up in this corner here. Let's go up here and have a look. So there you can see the repair. It's where it's cracked and opened, and we got more openings there. We're now at the left rear elevation. And we've got another downpipe emptying close to the foundation. You can see how it's excavating a hole. This is the grade inspection. You can see here that we're looking down the left hand elevation towards the road. And you can see how the flow is coming down that path in this direction, and it's pooling in and around the garage here. Under heavy rain conditions, I almost guarantee that it will be entering the garage itself. We'll go in there in a bit and have a look. Here we're moving round to the rear. It's graded nicely. And there's a rear yard here. Let's go in the back here and see what we've got. Oh, it's the back of the building. Gas pipes. Siding on the garage is in poor condition. Fence on the rear elevation is in poor condition. Front elevation, you can see we've got large trees in the front yard. Not good, but very common in these old areas. Grade is okay, it is sloping away. And then we've got the grade on the right hand elevation. That's not quite so good. It actually tends to slope into that area there between the two parts of the house where it's going to pool, be swampy. We're in the master closet, and what we're looking at is the discoloration in the ceiling. Now, I'm highlighting that discoloration by the way I'm angling the torch or the flashlight to expose what I can see with the naked eye, but not necessarily video very easily. So this is sort of evident of a possible water penetration at this point. And here, around this area here, there's cracks. You can see there's cracks up here, cracks here. Now when you get some movement in the building, you often get gaps opening up in the roof that cause water penetration or allow water to penetrate. We're in the study of the master bedroom, and right here you can see we have a crack in the sheetrock. It's been repaired once and it's reappearing, so I would say the subsidence that we saw outside is current, it's carrying on as we speak. We're in the bathroom on the ground floor, and what we're looking at is the ceiling, and I'm below, I believe, the shower unit, certainly in this area. You can see there's some discoloration on the ceiling there, which may indicate a possible leak in the pass from the bathroom above. I'm I'm underneath the house at the moment. You can see up in this corner here where my light is falling. That's a beam, and if you look at it carefully you can see it's slightly damp. Water is penetrating through the grade wall into that beam there. You see some water has also penetrated here. You see that nail? That's where it's spalled. As concrete gets wet, it gets weakened, it swells, and then it breaks off. And there'll be a piece matching that shape down here. But my concern is that these beams should not be resting on the concrete. This will rot, and in time this whole beam will become unsupported in this area, and it will put additional loading on the piers. So we have a new beam has been added here. There's 3 of them. It must have been part of the modification to take the additional loading of the property. It doesn't actually go into the grade wall, but it has a pier that's been added here, an additional pier. But that pier and that beam are in direct contact. There should be a metal shield here for 2 reasons. First thing is the metal stops water penetrating up through the concrete pier and entering the wood. It also stops termites. You're going in? Yeah, I have. There's water penetrating at the rear left elevation underneath the porch. You can see it clearly on the camera here as you pan from left to right, and it's pooling down here and undermining the grade wall. We have a cast iron sewer line here, looks in good condition. And we have gas line here, isolation valve. New pier here. Here they've actually taken part of the grade wall away to rest the beam. And this beam here, running along here, is actually off plumb. Should be vertical, it's not. It's got an angle to it. Here we've got 2 dissimilar vessels in contact with each other. This is a copper pipeline, and here we have a cast iron line, and they're touching. That's going to cause it to, both of them, to deteriorate quite considerably. Standing at the attic hatch, to the attic, of course, and looking here you can see we've got the actual hatch here, and there should be a service board in this area to allow me to step, and anybody coming in here, to step off onto the boarding, and it can't. Also, if you look up here you can see we've got a light and light switch, and you see the cover is broken both there and there. In attics should you only use metal covers, because plastic ones break. Now what we've got are exposed light terminals. This is the attic inspection. You can see we've got broken switch covers all over the place. That's why you should use metal ones. Here we've actually got metal ones in use. So if somebody was in here at one point doing the right thing. Okay, so in the attic we have radiant barrier and 2 air handlers. Comparatively recently installed, 2002. There's a little note on one of the units. Yeah, March 2002. That's the manufacturing date, it said. But comparatively new. The primary drip line there doesn't have a P-trap, and it should do. The gas lines here going to the furnaces should have sediment traps. We're beside the front porch, and as you can see here we've got a cover for a water isolation valve, but the valve is buried. What I cannot find is the meter for the building. I cannot find the city meter for the water supply. That's the electrical panel. We have copper wiring. As far as I can see, no double tapping, spare 15 amp breaker.